This is like the third deadliest card game I've ever seen. Maybe fourth. A Mirror Darkly. Kamen Rider Ryuki. Hello and welcome to Earth Alien ProtoMet. The revival of Kamen Rider with 2001's Kamen Rider Kuga was followed up by a sequel, Kamen Rider Agito, in 2001. But for 2002's entry, it was decided to make a clean break from established continuity, and thus we got Kamen Rider Ryuki. While investigating a string of mysterious disappearances for an online news site, bumbling amateur reporter Shinji Kido finds a strange deck of cards that gets him caught up in a conspiracy involving mirror monsters and the warriors that fight them. Finding himself one of the Kamen Riders, he learns that the mirror monsters aren't the only thing that the Riders battle, and he must fight for his own survival as Kamen Rider Ryuki. After the tragic events of September 11, 2001, Toei wanted to produce a Kamen Rider season teaching kids about justice. But this season's producer, Shinichiro Shirakura, decided to instead address the concept of justice and how it's treated differently by different people. Thus we got a show about people fighting for what they personally believed in, even if it brought them into conflict with others. As a result, the main conflict of the series is that the riders battle each other under the belief that by defeating all the other riders, they alone will have their wish granted, whatever that may be. In fact, the only reason that most of the riders even fight the mirror monsters is to feed and strengthen the mirror monsters that they've formed a contract with to aid them in battle. And if they don't feed them, the contract monsters just might eat them instead. While the show has a varied cast, most of whom I won't go into details about to avoid spoilers, the primary focus is on Shinji Kido and Raiden Nakayama, whose personalities clash due to their differing beliefs on what the purpose of the Riders is. Shinji, who becomes Kamen Rider Ryuki, kind of stumbled into the role of Kamen Rider, and he believes that they should focus on protecting humans from the mirror monsters, while Ren, who transforms into Kamen Rider Knight, has a personal stake in the conflict and would much rather eliminate Ryuki just to have one less competitor in the Rider War. The only thing stopping him is Yui Kanzaki, the younger sister of Shiro Kanzaki, the man who gave the Advent decks to most of the riders to entice them into joining the conflict. His motives for not only researching the mirror world but also creating the decks remains a mystery, and Yui seeks out the truth while trying to find a way to bring an end to the Rider War before any more lives are claimed. I said I wouldn't cover all of the cast, but I did want to discuss some of the side characters. Just some. The news site that Shinji works for, Ore Journal, is an investigative news site with a small staff. Reiko Momoi is the only member of the team to be anywhere near competent at her job, a veteran reporter with a keen sense for finding stories. The chief editor of the news site, Daisuke Okubo, and the IT girl, Nanako Shimada, are the largest source of comic relief early on, before other characters get introduced, and even after. How Ore Journal manages to stay afloat with only one competent reporter is a mystery. Over on the Kanzaki side of things, Yui's aunt Sanako runs the tea house that Shinji, Ren, and Yui basically call home and is oblivious to the truth of what the three are involved with, focusing more on running the shop and meeting with her fellow adventurer enthusiasts. Getting back to the Kamen Riders, each one has a deck of cards known as Advent decks. Each deck contains cards that allow the riders to summon special weapons from their contract monsters, as well as special attacks and abilities. Each deck is unique, and if one is destroyed, the rider reverts back to normal humans, or worse, are easy prey for their own contract monster. And though they're rare, there are also cards that can protect civilians from mirror monsters, though that doesn't prevent them from being hunted by hungry monsters. And there are even rarer cards with other special abilities, but you'll just have to watch to find out what they are. Ryuki wound up being a pretty influential entry in the Kamen Rider series. The idea of having multiple riders in a show can still be seen in recent shows, with nearly every character in the show becoming a rider in some cases. The most recent season, Kamen Rider Geats, follows the notion of riders competing with each other so closely, it's had not one, but two crossovers with Ryuki. And thanks in large part to Ryuki, the idea of riders all being heroes has gone out the window, as many riders following Ryuki have been villains, though many of those have been movie exclusive. But not all. In addition to that, Kamen Rider Ryuki was the only season of Kamen Rider, aside from Black RX, to get the Power Rangers treatment, being adapted for an American audience in the form of Kamen Rider Dragon Knight. But that's a topic for another video. In case it's not obvious by this point, of course Kamen Rider Ryuki is worth checking out. So until next time, I'm ProtoMet. See ya!